One of the most frequently received calls here at Taylor is what's the best amp for use with my Expression System guitar? Well, we're sitting here in front of a big pile of great amps to tell you that there is no perfect amp. They all have their features and functions, and which one's right for you is going to be dependent on several things.
We're going to give you a little primer on amps just to help expand your understanding of why this one is different than this one, is different than this one, and is different than this one. And still, we can't answer the question, which is the best, because what Brian likes may be different than what I like. It's a matter of taste, how you play, and what you use it for.
Right, it's subjective, it's application specific, and you know, it's a lot of times it's budget driven. We understand that. Now, each of these amps have their own thumbprint or own signature sound. As much as you think that they're what's considered a full range or acoustic amplifier, the truth is they all impart their own tone onto your guitar.
That's probably the key principle to understand when choosing an amp. The amplifier itself is an instrument with its own voice.
Right, and when you couple that with your guitar and the way you play, it's like an equation. You plus your guitar plus the amp equals something different. Now, a lot of times you have lots of control over that. It's like seasoning and cooking. You can set the tone controls differently. You can set the controls on your guitar differently. And I want to encourage you not to be afraid to do that. There are no right or wrong settings on guitar and amplifier.
Probably the most fundamental thing to understand about acoustic amplifiers is that the shape of the box, as well as the speaker components themselves and the way they're combined, create those different thumbprints. One of the most important things, though, that makes an acoustic amplifier an acoustic amp versus an electric amplifier is the high frequency horn that's here. Electric amplifiers don't have that. They don't have those nuances of harmonics up and, you know, that we like to hear coming off an acoustic guitar. So when you look at acoustic amplifiers, understand that those are some of the fundamental differences that are occurring. You don't have to know that to be successful, but it is what's going on behind the scenes.
Right. So let's start. You've got a couple ways to plug in and get in your sound into the amplifier. The first is with a regular 1/4 inch cable. And that's when you plug into a traditional 1/4 inch input jack. It says instrument input.
And all these amplifiers have it labeled as that, an instrument input.
Right. Now, since the introduction of the Expression System, some manufacturers have started to add an additional input that is balanced, or TRS balanced input. I know the Rivera has it. It's an option on the SWR California Blonde and others. And that allows you to use a different cable, tip ring sleeve on both ends of the cable, and then one from your guitar, one into the other input of the amp. Now, it's important when talking about balanced inputs that we talk about the microphone input on acoustic amps.
This is a real important point to be clear on to be successful when plugging into an acoustic style amplifier. The microphone input, or the 3-prong XLR input you see on almost all, at least to my knowledge, acoustic amplifiers, was not designed to receive a high level input signal. It's designed to have a microphone plugged into it, which has very low gain.
It's a real tiny signal. It's not very loud.
So the minute you plug into it, it's already got the gain turned up to 10 when you plug in.
Right, that's on the inside of the amp. They actually preamplify that signal before it gets to the amplifier controls.
Now, the issue for the Expression System is that you will then have to take your volume control on the ES and turn it down to about 1/4 just to not overdrive the input. It will work, but it's much more input sensitive. And again, the good news with the Expression System is the tone doesn't change when you turn the volume down.
So that's why we're talking about using a regular 1/4 inch or any of the other cables. It's not a tone loss thing. You're not giving up fidelity. It's just you picking the right cable to get into the amplifier.
That's exactly correct. Now, when we switch from there and talk about going to PA systems, it's a little bit different. And of course, there are different amplifiers that are attempting to actually perform the function of full PA system, the Bose L1 being the chief example of that. It's designed to be both a backline style amplifier, similar to something like this, as well as a frontline PA system. Now, it was a great privilege working with these people on this because the design and what we were able to do by adding presets allowed us to take a guitar and voice it specifically for this system.
Right, and we wrote presets and voiced actually the bows to our guitars.
That's correct.
So the difference is subtle, but it allows you to have presets for strumming and for playing fingerstyle with all of our body shapes. So Grand Symphony, Grand Auditorium, Grand Concert, Dreadnought, and the T5.
But to be successful, again, at finding the right amplification solution for you or to create the sounds you want, you have to think about your own application. Do you want to be really loud with your acoustic guitar? Are you playing with a band? If you are, you might choose something that has more power and it's able to deliver more sound to overcome the drums and bass. If you're playing in coffee houses and you need to sing through your amplifier as well as play, you'll choose something with a different type of front end, something that has that microphone input and the ability to plug an instrument in it. You're not trying to be really loud, you're just trying to be louder.
If you'd like to use your expression system in a balanced application, meaning using the tip ring sleeve, special cable to go to the mixer or a PA or recorder, but you'd also like to include a tuner in your system, we make a special accessory just for you. It's called the Expression System Balanced Breakout Box.
Now again, the way you use it, tip ring sleeve to an XLR plugs in that end. Standard microphone cable goes out from there to the house snake. It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah, so you're balanced in, you get the balanced out, and then there's a separate 1/4 inch output to go to your tuner, and then a foot switch. Now this foot switch allows you to mute the output that's going to the mixer or the PA and tune silently on stage. Then just step on the switch again and you're back to performance ready.